Gentlemen, it's the beginning of a new series with you and me and Johnny Art. Here's the scene. Episode 1. Here's the actual location. Duane Reade. Dramatis personae, me, person in line. A tall gentleman checking out, hoping to get a free bag, and a lady at the checkout counter. Details to follow. So there we are at the Duane Reade. There's a gentleman there. I came in the middle of it, but he's like, "Hey, everybody knows me." He's trying to get a free bag from the lady. She gives him a small bag with a big drink in it. He's like, "Well, how am I supposed to fit everything in there? I'm in here every day." Says to her, "Don't act like a retard. You know, don't act like a retard. If you don't like the job, you should quit. You know, something else." So I says to the gentleman, "Really? Don't treat the lady like that." He immediately goes into a racist, anti-racist rant. He brings in race. I'm a man, he's a man, that's a woman. Nothing to do with race. He says, "Oh yes, of course, a white guy." And I don't know. I made a point of telling him that I'm just whitish. I don't think he got the message. I said, "I'm passing." I mean, there's white and then there's white. All right. And the lady behind the counter, I don't know, Middle Eastern something, right? She had a headscarf on. That's a woman of color. Man of color picking on a woman of color. Really? Really? Malcolm, not happy. Now let's get real. See, what that man could not fathom was that my actually saying something is a sign of respect, right? Because he doesn't understand there's a lot of times when white people don't say anything to or for black people when something is happening. Why? Number one, because we think there's going to be a big blow up. And number two, here's the racism. We're like, fuck it, man. They don't even know any better. So when I have moments like that, where I'm like, well, you can't talk to these people, right? That racism arises in me. I fight that. And I say something to a person about turning down their thing or whatever. I call out their behavior human to human, right? Because I respect them enough to include them in the conversation. Okay? That is real talk, my friend. Okay? Thank you. Okay, so somehow I needed to have one more segment, and I left it out. So this is going to be the expanded version of episode 1 of Here's the Scene. What I forgot to include, there it is in the title. It says, "You're the reason that I'm here." It's pointing a finger at me as a white guy, saying I'm the reason that he's here as a black man in America. In other words, that somehow I am part of my people, my ancestors were part of the transatlantic slave trade. And that's why he's here. It's interesting. I mean, it sounds as though he's dissatisfied that he's here and that he'd rather be somewhere else. Is that the subtext of that statement? My people got here in the 1950s. It's my father, my mother, my grandparents from Greece and from Cyprus. I'm pretty sure we didn't have anything to do with the transatlantic slave trade. Maybe my ancestors going back thousands of years, this Greek people might have been slave owners, and who knows what race or nationality those slaves might have been. So maybe my hands, mind, and body are tainted by slavery going back thousands of years. And he can read that on me. I don't know. He said something else, and this is very interesting. I mean, first of all, I want to say, it's not that I'm not sympathetic to the idea of the position of the black man in society. Right? You have 1 or 2 strikes against you already just walking around. You're already suspected of something. People are looking at you, judging you, and everything, okay? And I have no idea what that's like. And I can imagine if it's so what. I'm not living it every day. But I can imagine that it really must be difficult. And again, I don't think this particular case has anything to do with race. And what he said to me was, I would much rather have been, spoken to or corrected or whatever by a black man or a Hispanic man or something than a white person. Okay, I feel that. again, but what I was saying was not had anything to do with race. Okay, just a person acting in a very rude and inappropriate way toward another person, and I was not going to be able to just let that go. But he said something like this on the way out. He said, you know, unless you're white, or he said something else. You know, unless you're white or straight acting in this society, people are going to pick on you. And I'm like, wow. I mean, that's some extra, I don't know what, you know, dressing in the on the salad. I mean, it just made me feel like this guy's really carrying around a lot of pain, or that adds to this whole feeling of discrimination that he's dealing with. You know, and I'm not sure exactly what he said. He certainly said something about not being straight acting. So, I mean, he's encompassing the whole notion of being discriminated against by appearance. And that's a heavy load, man, if he's carrying that around in addition to whatever he has to deal with as a black man. And then, you know, just for fun on the way out, he invited my mother to fillet him. I mean, what was great is that I wasn't taking, and I still don't take any of that stuff personally. You know, he had to say what he had to say, and that's okay. But he framed it in a certain way that I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to throw this question out there. I mean, he said he would rather have been. No, I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to ask that question. I don't know. Anyway, so that together with everything else makes the complete video, and that was the scene. If I come up with anything else, I'll do another further emendation. I don't know. Okay, bye.